Greetings. If you're watching this, it can only mean that you've enrolled in an online history class. My name is Dr. Ryan Pettengill, and I'll be your professor this semester. What I'm hoping to do in this video is familiarize you with the course policies, the course procedures, the requirements and expectations, but most importantly, the syllabus. So what I want you to do, if you've not already done so, is I want you to put me on pause if need be. Go to Blackboard and select our class. Once you've logged in, select our class. And then what I would like you to do is go ahead and go to the Information tab, which you'll see on the left-hand side of the screen. Select Information, and then near the top of that tab you should see something where you can download a copy of the syllabus. Again, put me on pause if you need to. Go ahead and download that syllabus if you want to, print it out, come back, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so the first thing that I want to start out with is the fact that this is an online class, which is going to make communication very, very important. In a lecture class, it's not as easy, or it's not as difficult rather, to convey questions, concerns, do things of that sort, because I meet with you on a weekly basis. It's different in an online class, and a lot of students can kind of feel as if they're doing this alone, that they don't have anybody in the class. It can be overwhelming if you really stop and think about it. To emphasize that you're in fact not alone in this class and there are things that you can do to really maximize your performance, the other thing that you might want to take a look at in the Information tab when you have a chance is the How to Be Successful in This Class video. In that session, I'll take you through various things that you can do throughout the course of the semester to really maximize your performance, so it's worth looking into. The other thing that I want to mention is that communication is really important, and the best way that you get a hold of me is through email. Now, I've listed my email address at the top of that syllabus. I check that address regularly throughout the day, and if you get me a message between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m., there's a very good chance I respond on the same day. If it's after 3 p.m. or if it's on the weekend, there's probably a good chance that I don't get to you on the same day, but I would like to think that I respond to all email in a timely fashion. You can also call me if you'd like. I don't answer the phone as regularly as I answer emails, and even when you do leave me a voicemail, good chance that I respond to you through email, so please look for that if you do that. But there is a phone, and you can call if you'd like. Aside from those ways, you can also meet with me on the campus of Mountain View College, and I am available. Typically afternoons are better for me than evenings, or excuse me, than mornings. I usually get to Mountain View relatively early. Usually I'm here by about 7 o'clock Monday through Friday. So if you get here early like I do, good chance that you can meet with me on that in that particular time. If that's not going to work, then I always have time during the afternoons. Tuesday and Thursday are pretty good from, let's say, 1 o'clock until 3 o'clock. If that's not going to work with you, then I have some time officially scheduled on Monday and Wednesday um, um, from 11:30 to 1:30. So hopefully one of those time frames will meet your scheduling needs. Now, this class is a online class, but it is the first half of the American History Survey. So the dates that we will range from will be what I call the pre-Columbian time period, in other words, the time period in American history before Europeans and later on Africans started showing up, and we will run until 1877. This is not going to be your traditional history class, the class that a lot of people tend to not look forward to. In addition to emphasizing political history, I really focus on social history, economic history, to a lesser extent cultural history. So as you can see, we're going to be going through a lot of different themes, a lot of different issues as we complete this semester. Now, the thing that I really want to point out and make clear to you now is the reading list, the textbooks that you need, okay? First and foremost is this book right here. It's a book by Frederick Douglass called My Bondage and My Freedom. If your book doesn't look like the book that I just held up, don't worry about that. I really don't care what edition it is, what historian wrote the introduction. Nothing like that matters to me. The only thing that really does matter is that you get a copy of it and you start reading it as soon as humanly possible. Now, because I wanted everybody to have a copy of this and guarantee that they had a chance to read it, I've put a PDF version of My Bondage, My Freedom up in Blackboard for you. Even if you didn't know you had it, you already have it. So I'm essentially giving you a free copy of this. It is available in the Informations tab. If you go ahead and open that tab and then you open up a folder called Online Texts, you'll be able to see a copy of it. You can download it, read it on your tablet, your phone, or of course there's the traditional computer. If you don't mind reading it online, you can have that book for free. Okay? Get a copy of Douglass and begin reading it, like now. Okay? The second book that I need you to have would be this one right here. This is Sam Patch, the Famous Jumper, by a historian named Paul E. Johnson. You don't need this book for a little while, so if you didn't get it now, you don't need it for, tomorrow or the next day. That being said, I really wouldn't put that off all that much further into the future, okay? So those are the books that I need you to have very, very quickly. And the last one that I need you to purchase would be this one right here called The American Nation. This isn't really a textbook like what you think of when you say textbook. This is what we call a document reader, and it's full of primary documents, which is what historians use to write and determine history. Okay? The reason that this book, The American Nation, that is, Volume 1, of course, the reason that this book is so important is because it is tied to a lot of your assignments. Quizzes, discussion forums, in some cases even exams. A lot of that information that you'll need for those assignments is going to be drawn from that textbook, so you need a copy of that very, very quickly. Now, the good news as far as the reading list is concerned is you should not be paying much more than about $40 out the door, okay? Anyway, what I'd like to do now is move on to the course outline. Beginning on page 3, what you're going to see is a detailed line-by-line breakdown of what we're going to be doing in this class. It'll not only cover topical issues, for example, what topic we're going to be discussing on a week-by-week basis, it'll also give you the assignments that you need to complete and the dates that you need to complete them by. For example, one of the things that you have to do for this week is begin reading the American Nation text. You need to begin reading the Frederick Douglass text, and you've got at least one discussion forum that's going to be due, and of course I'll talk to you about what that is in just a second. There may also be quizzes that you need to complete on a week-by-week basis, and you can find the due dates for those quizzes inside the course outline and the date that they need to be completed by. Paper assignments, midterm, final exam, all of those things are right there in the week-by-week breakdown of the course. Okay. Now, the question that you need to ask yourself right now is how you get the best grade in this class. And I really do want you to do well in this class. I'm not the kind of professor that really gets a kick out of failing half of his class. I don't think that reflects all that well on me if half the class fails. The good news is there's a lot of things that you can do to really maximize your performance, beginning with those discussion forums. Now, if you're following along in the syllabus with me, I'm on page 7. Participation is what I'm talking about here. Now, if this was a class that met, on a day-to-day basis, attendance would be a part of this. Your, contributions in our discussions would also be a part of this. But considering we're not doing that, the way that we make up for participating in the course content is completing what I call discussion forums, which are all available in Blackboard. Now, you're going to have to complete at least one discussion forum every week in this class. And so, what that means is you need to go into Blackboard. Typically, they're going to be due on Friday. Not every Friday. Sometimes I give you a little bit of an extension, but typically Friday. You need to go into Blackboard and click the Discussions button. It's underneath Information. Click Discussions, and that is going to bring you to the discussion forum board. So this week, for example, you need to complete at least discussion forum 1, which is going to ask you a very broad question, and usually, although discussion forum 1 is a little bit of an exception, it's usually going to point you to one or more documents in this book. This is why this book is so important, because you can't do a very major part of the class content without that book at your disposal. Anyway, the way that I approach the discussion forum is I need you to create a thread. I need you to throw your 2 cents, if you will, into the pot when it comes to this is what I think and this is why I think it. But as long as it's obvious to me that you did the reading that I asked you to do, that you analyzed the document, and you put a little bit of time and thought into the assignment, usually I don't have a problem awarding full credit. So my point is, participation and completing those discussion forums is a really good way of racking up a lot of points in this class. The next thing that you can do to really maximize your performance is complete the quizzes. They're not really quizzes in the traditional sense of the word. Really what they are writing assignments that are open book and open note. As a matter of fact, a lot of times what the quiz is going to ask you to do is it's going to ask you to read a particular document. Most of the time those documents are going to be right there available in the quizzes tab, usually right underneath the quiz itself in Blackboard. So to access the quizzes, what you do is you click on the quizzes tab underneath discussions, and then you complete whatever quiz it is that we're talking about. I mean, theoretically, right now, today, you could do quizzes 1 through 6 and you'd be done for the semester, even though I wouldn't really recommend that you do that. Anyway, 3 points per quiz. And like the discussion forums, as long as it's really obvious that you understand and it's clear that you read the document that I asked you to read, and you're using that document to project your answer, usually most students will score 3 out of a possibility of 3. Okay? If you're not fully engaging the central question, or if you're really kind of cutting corners, obviously that will affect your grade. Now, because the quizzes are relatively, let me put it this way, they don't require an awful lot of work. Because they're accessible and easy to rack up some points, once those due dates pass, they turn into automatic zeros. So it's not as if you can make up for quizzes that you just forgot about or just did not do, okay? Now, the paper assignments, you're going to see 2 paper assignments over the course of the semester, and what these will be would be essays, okay? Each of them are going to ask you to write a 2 to 3 page paper, so not very long, but they will be based on a central question, a relatively open-ended question that will connect with either My Bondage and My Freedom, that would be paper 1, or Sam Patch, the Famous Jumper, paper 2. Both of these papers are worth 10% of your cumulative grade, and so therefore 20% of your overall score will be based on how you do on these papers. Now, a couple things. To help you write these these essays, I've uploaded a series of videos, and you can find these in folders called Paper 1 Resources or Paper 2 Resources. So go into Blackboard and click the Paper Assignments tab. It's near the bottom on the left. Click that tab, and you should see the folders that I'm talking about. They're just called Paper Resources, whether 1 or 2 depends on which paper you're referring to. You should see about 4 links that will get your brain moving in the proper direction when it comes to thinking about this question and writing a response for it. The last 2 requirements for completing this class would be a midterm exam, which should be specified in the course outline when it is and when you need to have it completed by, as well as a final exam. Okay, now if you look right now, you won't see any exams in the exam tab. All you will see will be materials that would help you prepare for either the midterm or the final. Once that due date approaches, once the due date for the midterm exam, for example, is upon us, you will see the exam live and available for you to take inside the exams tab of Blackboard. Okay? But just so we're clear on this, the exam itself consists of a combination of multiple choice questions and a written component, either short essay answers or one long essay answer. Again, to help you prepare for these exams, I've uploaded both a midterm review guide as well as a final exam review guide. Those are available to you right now as we speak in the exams tab of Blackboard. As you hopefully are able to guess, I'm a person that really wants everybody to be on the same page going into the semester as far as what is expected of you, okay? Not only have I outlined how you do well and what you can do to do well in this class, I've given you everything that you could want when it comes to understanding what's getting ready to come at you, okay? And so I'm hopeful that what you're going to do now is take the necessary measures when it comes to putting in the work to prepare to do well in this class. Generally speaking, the people that fail my class are not the people that I just managed to trick and they guessed wrong on the exam. It's the people that just failed to prepare. I know that old adage is a little bit over the top at this point, but you really can get a lot of miles out of just preparing for the class, just doing the things that I'm telling you to do that will ultimately pay off in success in this class. Now there's more to the syllabus, more involving the drop date. The drop date is clearly listed in that syllabus toward the end of it. There's also consequences for dropping the class. You should be mindful of those. I do reserve the right to change the syllabus. Of course, I will give you advanced notice when it comes to changes within the syllabus. Typically that doesn't happen, but if in the case that it does, I will be very clear in what's changing, and I'll usually when it changes, it's for your benefit. I give you more time for an assignment, for example. In any case, that's the class in a nutshell. I'm very hopeful that this is a good experience for you. Again, I'm really rooting for you this semester. I want you to do well. And that being said, if there's anything that I haven't covered that you still have a question on, please don't hesitate to let me know. I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Hope you polish up your glasses, assuming that you're using them. You got those pencils nice and sharp, because I really want to hit the ground running. That's it for now. Stay tuned, and I will be back with you shortly.